We're in Matthew 7:24 to 27 again. It's about the builder. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on a rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house. But it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So we said last time we looked at this verse that the central truth was a life built on obedience to Jesus will not be shaken. But there's a secondary truth, or I would say there's an assumption that Jesus makes when he is telling the parable that we often overlook. And again, I'm going to appeal to those who know construction. There's an assumption that Jesus makes, and that assumption is that when we build, and especially when we're pouring foundation, we are doing that in good weather. We build a life of obedience in good weather. When the sun is out and there's not a cloud in the sky and everything seems to be working out in our lives, that's the best time to build. Now, unfortunately, some of you, like me, press in and pursue Jesus when things aren't going well, when we're in the middle of a storm. And then sometimes when there's not a cloud in the sky and everybody's good and everyone's healthy and everything is working out in my life, I don't pursue him as hard as I should. But never forget this underlying thing that Jesus is talking about. The best time to build is in good weather. Now, can you build in the storm? Sure, but it's going to be really, really difficult. And some of you can probably attest to that, as I can. I've had some massive storms in my life, and I've definitely pursued Jesus in the midst of them. But man, I have learned this lesson in my life that the time to build is in good weather. We must build in good weather, and our faith will sustain in bad weather. That's part of the assumption that Jesus is making. We're not laying a foundation when there's rain and wind and all sorts of things that are happening in our lives. Can we do it? Sure, but it will be harder. So friends, are you building in good weather? A storm is going to come into every life. But the structure that survives is a structure that has been built, reinforced, and repaired in both good weather mostly and in bad weather sometimes.